video will examine how applying Stoic principles can help transform paralyzing fear into prudent caution. While some degree of fear is natural, excessive worry over potential future events can prevent us from living fully in the present. By adjusting our perceptions, focusing on what we can control, and building resilience, we can respond to life's difficulties and uncertainties with courage and wisdom rather than panic. Practicing Stoic techniques provides a framework for responding rationally to the inevitable ups and downs of life. Number 1, make sense of fear. Fear is natural and can be helpful in warning of danger, but often fear is excessive or misplaced. The Stoic philosophers saw fear as an impression that could be examined rationally. The Stoics recognized that some fear is inevitable in life, but they also believed excessive fear often arises from false judgments and assumptions. We may overestimate a potential threat or underestimate our ability to handle it. Epictetus said, "What upsets people is not things themselves, but their judgments about the things." Rather than be controlled by fear, the Stoics advised responding to fearful impressions with reason and perspective. We can ask ourselves, how likely is this feared outcome really? If it did occur, what's the worst that could happen? Would those results actually be that terrible? And do I honestly have no power or control in this situation? This process of rational examination can transform fear into prudent caution. It enables acting appropriately instead of being paralyzed by exaggerated and irrational fears. With practice, Stoics learn to filter their impressions, retaining reasonable concerns that should be heeded while dismissing groundless fears that only cause distress. Number 2, don't fear other people's judgment. We often worry about what others think of us, but the Stoic philosophers teach us that other people's opinions are outside our control. We cannot force others to think well or poorly of us. What matters is how we perceive ourselves and live our lives. The Stoics advise us to focus on living virtuously instead of worrying about our impressions of others. Marcus Aurelius said, "People look for retreats for themselves, houses in the country, seashores and mountains, and you too are wont to desire such things very much. But this is altogether a mark of the most common sort of men, for it is in your power whenever you shall choose to retire into yourself. For nowhere either with more quiet or more freedom from trouble does a man retire than into his own soul." We should not waste time and energy trying to please everyone around us. It's impossible. Each person will form their own opinion, and even if we could somehow earn universal approval, it would not guarantee happiness or fulfillment. The only reliable path is cultivating our inner virtues and finding contentment there. Epictetus said, "Remember that you must behave in life as at a dinner party. Is anything brought around to you? Put out your hand and take your share with moderation. Does it pass by you? Don't stop it. Is it not yet come? Don't stretch your desire towards it, but wait till it reaches you. Do this with regard to children, to a wife, to public posts, to riches, and you will eventually be a worthy partner of the feasts of the gods." We should treat everything that comes our way with level-headedness, neither grasping for more nor complaining about less. Other people will think well or poorly of us regardless. What matters is maintaining our principles. The Stoics teach us not to judge others harshly for their faults and imperfections. We all struggle and make mistakes on the path of life. Extend the same understanding to others that you would want for yourself. Number 3, embrace life's trials. We will inevitably face difficulties in life. The Stoic philosophers recognized this and encouraged cultivating resilience to help endure whatever comes our way. As Epictetus said, difficulties are the things that show what men are. Rather than fearing hardships, the Stoics saw them as opportunities. Trials build character and wisdom if we maintain composure through them. By dealing with adversities head-on, we gain confidence in our ability to handle future challenges. Seneca wrote that difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. Refusing to be broken by misfortune demonstrates inner fortitude. We shouldn't wish for trials, but we can face them with courage when they arrive. The Stoics saw life's obstacles as a chance to practice virtues like perseverance, patience, and level-headedness. Adopting this mindset allows us to endure life's hardships and emerge stronger. Difficulties will arise, but we can control our response to them. Embracing this Stoic approach prevents adversity from overwhelming us with fear. Number 4, believe in your abilities. According to Stoic philosophy, much of the anxiety we experience comes from a lack of confidence in our abilities. When we don't believe in ourselves, even ordinary tasks can seem daunting or scary. The Stoics teach that true confidence comes from preparation and practice. If you diligently build your skills and expertise, you'll know you have what it takes to handle challenges when they arise. Focus on developing your talents rather than worrying about things beyond your control. Set manageable goals and take the time to acquire new knowledge. Seek out opportunities to apply what you've learned. With each small success, you'll strengthen your self-efficacy. Over time, these little victories will compound, reinforcing the fact that you are capable. Approach new situations in a spirit of curiosity rather than fear. Remember, even masters were once beginners. No one is born an expert. When you believe in your potential to learn and grow, you'll worry less about failure or embarrassment. You'll be eager to test yourself and expand your abilities through experience. Faith in your skills comes from diligent effort. By focusing within and building on small successes, you cultivate an inner strength more powerful than any external fears. Number 5, get rid of the fear of death. The Stoics believe death is a natural part of life that should not be feared. Worrying about death only spoils the precious time we have in the present moment. As Marcus Aurelius said, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Rather than obsess over death, the Stoics focused on living virtuously and making the most of their allotted time. By leaving a legacy of honorable deeds and positive impact, one's memory can live on after death. Seneca said, "Life is long if you know how to use it." The Stoics recognized that death could come at any time, so there was no point in worrying about it needlessly. Instead, they resolved to live good lives worthy of remembrance. This allowed the Stoics to be courageous in the face of mortality. Number 6, cultivate prudence, not fear. Fear is a natural human emotion that everyone experiences from time to time. However, while some fear can be healthy and help keep us safe, excessive or irrational fear can be very limiting. It clouds our judgment, narrows our focus, and prevents us from responding effectively to difficulties. The ancient Stoic philosophers advocated cultivating prudence rather than giving in to fear. Prudence helps us respond wisely to challenges, whereas fear often leads to poor decisions or paralysis. As Epictetus stated, it's not things in themselves that disturb people, but their judgments about those things. With practice, we can learn to transform our fear into prudence. When you feel afraid, pause and examine the situation rationally. Ask yourself, realistically, how severe is the threat? What is truly within my control? What is the wisest way to respond? Approaching difficulties from a place of prudence rather than fear will lead to better outcomes. The Stoics also advised performing your duties well rather than worrying about things outside your control. Work on developing sound judgment, integrity, and courage. A good person dyes events with their color, said Epictetus. With wisdom and virtue, even misfortunes can be endured. Reflecting on fears as they arise can gradually reshape our automatic reactions into more measured, prudent responses. Though it takes commitment, we can transform fear into an opportunity for growth. In conclusion, Practicing Stoic principles can help transform unhealthy fear into wise prudence. We cultivate prudence and clear judgment by making sense of our fears, embracing life's trials, believing in our abilities, ignoring others' judgments, and overcoming the fear of death. The Stoics remind us that virtue often requires courage in adversity, but we all have an inner light, an ability to respond to life's difficulties and uncertainties prudently rather than fearfully. By practicing Stoic principles, we can transform anxiety into enlightened action. With prudence as our guide, we can live meaningful, purposeful lives. Our obstacles provide opportunities to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. May prudence light your way. If you enjoyed this video, remember to subscribe, leave your comment, and share your insights. We look forward to hearing about your transformation journey, and remember that change starts with a single step. Thank you for watching.